No, Labour Party, please. Don't follow Oshomole to misinform the public. Mr. President, I'm not very comfortable with this bill in the sense that I've read the objectives of this bill, and I do not think that we do not have the framework to manage our road transport system presently as to going to establish a national road transport council, national council. If you look at all the things happening in the road transport sector, we already have agencies of government that regulate movement of vehicles on our roads. We have the Federal Road Safety Commission, if we are thinking about how to maintain safety in the usage of our roads. The Federal Road Safety Commission is a well-constituted commission that is working across the Federation of Nigeria. There's no place you don't see them. They are well-staffed. Aside from them, in the Federal Ministry of Works, you also have vehicle inspection, VIO. That department also gets involved in the management of our road transport usage, VIOs. They're everywhere. You see them. If you begin to talk about a council that will regulate and coordinate activities of National Union of Road Transport Workers and the rest of it, these are agencies that are also operating. They are in place. State governments have road usage management agencies. State governments. Like in my state, we have Anambra State Traffic Management Agency, ASTMA. They're all over the place, wearing uniforms. So a National Road Transport Council is because the necessary things have not been done. He had a motion 2 months ago that was delayed because of the Ramadan break, when 26 people died. I live in Enugu, and I told him I would like to co-sponsor that motion. But because of the holidays, we couldn't go forward. So we have agencies of government that can do this. Federal Ministry of Works have not been able to solve the problem there. When he was speaking, Senator Ostangu contributed finally to the cause of the problem there. This is a place where you have two roads on different layers. One is below the other, and the other one is out of use. They've not done that lane. The one that is on a higher lane has to carry all the vehicle traffic, trailers and all manners of things with congestions on the road. So because of the failure of the Federal Ministry of Works to do the lower layer, so that vehicles going to one direction will all go through that way, the other ones coming up will go through the other way. Everybody has recourse to one lane, and it has continued to cause carnage. I don't see what another National Transport Road Council will help us do. If these agencies cannot effectively do this, the Federal Ministry of Works repairs our roads. The Federal Road Safety Commission is there to direct vehicle movement and traffic management on our roads. Because once we pass this bill, you go into another bureaucracy of setting up a council that will begin to talk about touts and all manners of things. These people are already regulated. There are agencies of government in place to regulate these activities. So I'm not opposing the bill because I don't like the thing, but I read it. If you look at the functions of the National Road Transport Council, you see that most of them are vague. If you read all these things now, you see they are vague in content. Lack of comprehensive policy framework, this is vague. Inadequate insurance coverage, there's no measure for this. Poor regulation and oversight. Who is oversighting and who is regulating and all that. So I've gone through it, and I believe the best thing to do is to ensure that the agencies in place should be strengthened to do their work. the Federal Road Safety Commission is in a position to help us have a safe movement of these vehicles on the roads. Then Ministry of Works should do the roads and repair them. If you don't repair the roads, there's nothing the council can do. The council cannot repair the roads. The one we have that is the major problem we are facing in this 9th mile corner, you have also talked about. It's not about any other thing, not about council. It's about the failure of the Federal Ministry of Works to do the second layer of the road, the one that is on a lower level. Do it asphalt so the vehicles can ply smoothly. The other lane will go in opposite direction. And this debt will cease. So I humbly submit, Mr. President, that we have had too many councils and agencies and nothing works. Let those we have be strengthened to do their work. This is my contribution. Thank you, Mr. President.
Distinguished Senator Natasha Oduaga.
Paragraph by paragraph. And I can see that they have come out with this reform bill to make the insurance industry more effective in Nigeria. So I wholesomely support it for the work they have done in it. Some of us, Mr. President, in 2007, during the stock armada, shares and all that, I was one of the victims that invested so much in insurance companies. And most of them have gone extinct. All those monies lost. Yet, even investing in stocks and shares can be insured. In the case of a company closing down after buying their shares, the insurance company will settle you and pay you for those risks. So our insurance industry is not dynamic. And this reform, which they are bringing out now, will help us a lot, imbue confidence on investors, in undertaking certain ventures in Nigeria. So I wholly support it. And I urge my colleagues to support it so that we'll pass it and have a robust and active, responsive insurance industry in Nigeria. Thank you very much.
Thank you. May off your mic. I now yield the floor.
No, Labour Party, please. Don't follow Ushomole to misinform the public. Mr. President, I'm not very comfortable with this bill in the sense that I've read the objectives of this bill, and I do not think that we do not have the framework to manage our road transport system presently as to going to establish a national road transport council, national council. If you look at all the things happening in the road transport sector, we already have agencies of government that regulate movement of vehicles on our roads. We have the Federal Road Safety Commission, if we are thinking about how to maintain safety in the usage of our roads. The Federal Road Safety Commission is a well-constituted commission that is working across the Federation of Nigeria. There's no place you don't see them. They are well-staffed. Aside from them, in the Federal Ministry of Works, you also have vehicle inspection, VIO. That department also gets involved in the management of our road transport usage, VIOs. They're everywhere. You see them. If you begin to talk about a council that will regulate and coordinate activities of National Union of Road Transport Workers and the rest of it, these are agencies that are also operating. They are in place. State governments have road usage management agencies. State governments. Like in my state, we have Anambra State Traffic Management Agency, ASTMA. They're all over the place, wearing uniforms. So a National Road Transport Council, brilliant legal mind, and he hails from that state. The government should do the right thing. If we invest on education, the governor should take education as a priority so that no matter how difficult it is to impact education on our young people, they should go all the hog to ensure that education is provided to our young people coming up so that this thing can be turned from having minds that are liberated through superstition. Because nobody can believe this, that when you kill another person, you go to see God. So I am saying that even at the prayers and the motion I have looked at, yes, we are talking about fighting those who will go, mobilizing people who will go and get people and stop this. These are young girls, teenagers have been brainwashed to go and carry bomb and embrace people and kill people and go to heaven. So this is the root of the problem. We have to ensure that the government is directed and urged to go and provide education to our young people. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Distinguished Senator
Senator Victor Umeh, OFR. I represent Anambra Central Senatorial District. Mr. President, I rise to also support this bill because of the need for us to have proper identification of who are Nigerians, whether living in Nigeria or in the diaspora. We must be able to have a database where it will be easy to cross-check the identity of any individual who claims to be a citizen of Nigeria. Looking at the objectives of the bill, I agree with them entirely, but I need to bring in something that I discovered when I went to South Africa in the month of March this year. I went to the Nigerian High Commission in Johannesburg to meet with the Nigerian citizens who reside in South Africa and Swaziland. From the preponderant complaints they generated, it was obvious that the national identification number is very difficult for them to assess in the diaspora. The Commission sourced out generation of name for Nigerian citizens to private individuals, where the citizens were asked to go and get captured and their name generated for them. So the problem there is that those individuals who are not staffers of the NIMC or the High Commission, they operate kiosks or centers where they sell NIN to Nigerians in diaspora. I consider it an aberration, and they complain about. So this bill, in consideration, you will be able to see how to accommodate that this NIN can only be issued to Nigerians by either officials of NIMC, residents in the high commissions across the globe, so that access will be easy without any fraudulent manipulation or exploitation of those who seek it. This is the area I want to say, if you can reflect it in the bill.
Thank you, Senator Victor Umeh.
District. Mr. President, for want of time, I'll just quickly say that I support this bill from Senator Natasha Akpoti because this country is blessed with so many resources: oil, solid minerals. Gold is one solid mineral Nigeria is blessed with, that if we're able to harness it, we shall be able to boost our revenue earning capacity of this country. And if the industry is properly provided for and regulated, Nigeria will be able to make fortune out of these huge gold deposits that litter across Zamfara and Osun State and other parts of Nigeria. So there's no point belaboring the issue. This bill is very important for the reasons adduced in the bill. I wholeheartedly support it so that we can broaden our revenue base. It's not only oil that will be bringing dollars to Nigeria. If we have a vibrant gold industry, we will have a lot of dollars that will support our oil revenue capacity. Thank you, Mr. President.
Please,
I rise to support that this bill be read for a second time, and I align myself very strongly with the lead debate presented by the Senate leader. The national anthem of the year, that's the old one, which we are seeking to bring back, is a national anthem that meets all the ingredients of a national anthem. One is that the national anthem is supposed to evoke love on your nation. The citizens should be able to look up to the nation, Nigeria, as their own country. And that is why the opening is Nigeria we hail thee. In other words, we are placing Nigeria above all considerations as citizens of the country. Again, national anthem is supposed to be motivational. The words contained in the old national anthem are motivational, quite motivational. Apart from putting to bear our history, our composition as a people, it emphasized brotherhood above all things. Whether you are from any part of Nigeria, no matter the tongue you speak, you should be able to see the next person that is a Nigerian as your brother and embrace him. So it is contained in this national anthem. Again, when I was growing up, Mr. President, I looked up to Nigeria as a symbol of my life because we recited it in the primary schools in the early 70s and so on and so forth. When we had national competitions, when you go to national competitions, that is when you will see the quality of this old national anthem. When you sing it, once there is a match Nigeria is involved in, the national anthem of the competing nations will be sung. And when it comes to that of Nigeria, everybody will rise up that we must carry the day. So it is motivational. And if you look at it, you will see that very great matches we have watched in the World Cup. Nations of the world who are in the competition get charged, their players get charged once they sing their national anthem. One national anthem that I have watched in the World Cup do magic in a match was that of Germany. When they sang that national anthem, at the time Germany was down, but realizing that the integrity and the pride of the nation was at stake, Germany rallied from behind. Even Rummenigge, wearing very saggy short knicker, was able to mobilize his people, and they carried the day. So national anthem must be motivational. And I think from what my colleagues have spoken, it is very clear that the current anthem is, my brother said, is elusive. My own is that it is vague. In content, there is nothing in the current national anthem that mobilizes our people to action. So I support that this bill should be read for a second time because it arouses patriotism and a call to defend the nation at very challenging and competing times. So if we bring it back, I will tell you that our children and all of us will be more committed to realizing the ideals of nationhood. It's just like what Mr. President said some time ago. He said, we must recite the national pledge at all times. That national pledge was an attempt by Mr. President to bring back commitment of Nigerians to our nationhood. So this old national anthem carries everything together. And if we bring it back, I'll tell you that anybody who is doing anything, anywhere, will first of all know that he's a Nigerian. If you want to do anything outside Nigeria, you won't want to bring shame to the country. But this is a country, by our anthem, we hold so dear. Nigerians, we held thee. So I support this, and I believe that when it goes to public hearing, we will be able to harvest opinions of Nigerians in this regard when the issues involved, stanza by stanza, are x-rayed. So I thank you, Mr. President, for this. May we read the bill for a second time. Thank you very much. I know the convention here that one may not be able to speak twice during plenary, but sometimes very important things come up, and one is persuaded by conscience to contribute. Thank you for this opportunity. Mr. President, looking at this motion brought by Benson Agadaga, you will see the historical perspective. Oil was discovered in Oloibiri in 1956. Before the discovery of this oil in Oloibiri, Nigeria was surviving on agriculture, mainly farm produce and the rest of it. But since the discovery of oil in Oloibiri, Nigeria got a boom in its economic empowerment through petrodollars that started flowing from oil. The airstrip that was built in Oloibiri is a historical airstrip. That oil well one in Oloibiri is already a historical site. It's a historical monument that Nigerians will ever want to preserve. It's even it's supposed to be a tourist center where Nigerians will go and people who come will go to see that place where oil was first discovered in Nigeria. The airstrip being canvassed for, I do not think it's just because of security. It is because of the strategic importance of that location in Nigeria's economic advancement and progress. It is therefore very important that that place should be accessible at all times. That airstrip, when constructed and brought back to function as an airstrip, people will go to Oloibiri. Myself would like to go to Oloibiri someday. Am I going to go to Oloibiri by canoe or whatever, flying boats? The airstrip will make it very convenient for people to get there. It brings another aspect of our neglect to areas that are very important in our national life. The Niger Delta region, from where we have this money, which we have built all the international airports in Nigeria, including any part of Nigeria have airport, is money from that place. What will be the cost of that airstrip? It will be insignificant compared to its contribution to national development and growth. So I will say that even though the airstrip will serve other purposes, it is important that that area from where this oil was first discovered should be made a national center where people will go and see what it is. And development should come around that place. There was a day I saw the Oloibiri oil well, one, surrounded by bush. It's not, nobody clears it anymore. I saw it on social media, and I wept. I said, how can this place, this spot that opened the gate to Nigeria be so neglected? The white man will preserve that spot, clear it, and make it very attractive for somebody to come and see. So I think that it should be accorded the importance and not trivialized. What Agadaga Benson has said is in accord with equity and fairness. We should be able to put money there and build that airstrip. I know there are competing needs in Nigeria, but that one is a very small need for government of Nigeria to finance. So on this note, I want to rise to support that that airstrip needs to be built, not just a small airstrip, it should be built very strongly and equipped very well. Thank you very much.